The Why Me Project, an exclusive presentation of Faith Strong Today.
It's amazing to me, Holly, that there are so many different genres of Christian music. And being in radio for so long, all we hear about is, oh, why don't you play this? Or you're not playing enough country, or you're not playing enough worship. And sometimes it's hard to maneuver through some of those questions.
It is so true, because it's not like in the US where you can have a Christian station for rock or a Christian station for worship. Here in Canada, we have, this is your one station for your market. Good luck and Godspeed as you try to reach as many people as possible. So it's cool now to see different formats kind of blending in together. And I feel like we're in a really interesting season of Christian music.
Yeah. And what I do love is that we, over the last year and a bit, we've been able to talk with a number of integrity artists and get to hear their story. And so it's another integrity time as we got to Kieran Sims, my friend. How are you?
I'm well, man. I'm doing good. It's raining here in Houston, but it's also peaceful. We're doing good.
I didn't think it rained in Texas. I always thought it was just hot and 100 every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's you'll get about 3 good days a month here in Texas. Sometimes it feels great. Everything else is either hot, humid, or rain.
That's amazing. It's raining here in the GTA in Ontario, so I feel you. But yeah, it is peaceful. There's something about the rain. It's just, I don't know. I just want to go home and curl up in my pajamas on the couch with a blanket, some tea.
So surprisingly, no snow here. I'm just saying. Kieran, we like to ask the skill testing question because we never know where it's going to go. And that is, who are you and where did you come from?
I am a Black man from Houston, Texas. I was raised in Trinidad, which is islands, about 6 miles off the coast of Venezuela. My great-grandmother is Venezuelan. I am bilingual, which is why I said, because no one ever expects that. And I was raised in Trinidad about eight years, came back to the States and got perspective. You know, I was raised in a village in Trinidad where we had a galvanized roof and we had kerosene lamps. We drank filtered rainwater, caught our own chickens. We bartered with fishermen. So we had a freezer, and we get fish as they needed to keep their fish on ice. So every day we had fresh fish.
Nice.
And avocado sticky and a fry. It was just this great time. Came to the U.S., discovered McDonald's. I was like, oh, this is a different world.
Yes.
Shocked. And, been here ever since. I am a songwriter. I'm a husband. I've been married for about a little over 2.5 years now. Worship leader. Love basketball. I love shopping. I love food. We are foodies here in Houston. I could say we have some of the best food. From all over. We're just a melting pot of culture here. And I just love to have a good time.
Nice.
Holly's gushing moment in 3, 2, 1, go.
Coming from Trinidad, do you still have your fry bacon fish on Friday nights?
100%. And I always have to have a roti every week, and I have a roti. And every week I get doubles.
You had my heart at doubles. I love doubles.
Keep going, Holly.
Oh
Keep
my
going.
gosh. Okay, so I'm half Trini. My dad's from Marabella.
Marabella. Okay, I'm from Guaguari.
Okay.
No, that's crazy.
The South.
See you guys later.
Okay, bye, Johnny. See you later. It was nice chatting with you.
Yep. I was waiting for it. As soon as I heard it, I'm like, well, I'm out of here, and it's you two for the rest of the time.
Yeah, exactly. My husband's like, because his parents from Jamaica. He's like, why do you guys have fry bake? Like, it's just fry. It's like, choose one, bake it or fry it. And I'm like, we will always have the best roti.
100%.
Always.
Down.
Yeah.
They try. We appreciate you guys having that on the menu in a Jamaican restaurant.
Yeah, thank you.
White guy with a lot of dietary restrictions. I don't know what any of that is.
But you know what ting is. Johnny knows what ting is.
Okay.
I should go run it. I have a bottle in the fridge.
I love that. Come on. I'm happy. I'm really happy.
Yes, so it's funny. Like we're meeting fam right now, right?
When did you realize that you had this skill of music and this voice that was like an angel? Or did it just come to you one day?
So I'll be honest, I didn't know I could sing. My sister's an incredible singer. In fact, she has a concert, her first concert tomorrow night. and it sold out. It's just
Oh,
amazing.
wow.
My mom was a singer, phenomenal voice. My uncle as well. And I was watching Sister Act one day, and the Oh Happy Day, and I
Yes.
was singing it, and so my showers turned into concerts, and everyone's like, "You sing too?" And I was like, I mean, I'm just kind of like doing my thing, and I'm not like thinking much of it. I'm an athlete. I play basketball and football, so I'm more concentrated on that. And so anyway, they heard me singing, and it was like, "Oh, you have to sing at church." And literally a few weeks after they heard me, my mom heard me sing. They had me at a storefront church, 30 people singing "Oh Happy Day" with my eyes closed, and kind of get from the rest is history from there. Rest is history.
Wait, can you hit that high note? Because when that kid hits that high note for "Oh Happy Day," I try to hit it. Johnny, he doesn't even try. Bless his heart. He's like, no.
I just
I try.
The gift of gab, not the gift
Yeah.
of song.
Yeah, dogs come running to my house. Glasses shattering.
yes. I think I can now. I think there was I couldn't for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fair. Who can? I mean, that was otherworldly.
If you're bilingual, then I mean, obviously you could then sing in Spanish. Is it difficult having that switch on the English to Spanish, Spanish to English?
Yes. So my Venezuela is 6 miles off the coast of Trinidad, and so we have family in Venezuela as well. And I served at a bilingual church right out of high school, and I remember learning how to read the language first. I didn't speak a whole lot. Read the language first, and then I learned how to pronounce. And from there, it was like we would sing the first verse and chorus of the song in English, and then the worship leader would do that right there, and we'd go straight to Spanish. And it's so frustrating. But I think what helped was there were times I want to walk off the stage. I'm like, no one's blessed by this. No one's being blessed. But it was like I kind of learned how to pronounce, and when I read it, and then from there, it became easier. But to answer your question, like even when I'm going places and they're like, "Hey, want to be bilingual," it can be tricky when you're thinking one language, you have to like completely switch to another. Especially when you're just like,
yeah, I can barely do English, so you know.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
It's great.
I have to take the jacket off. This is getting too hot.
Right,
I'm laughing too hard. You're making me.
I'm sweating.
I love it.
Why are you wearing 3 layers, Johnny? You're wearing like
know.
a vest, a hoodie.
I thought it was going to snow
today.
today.
A toque. Okay.
That's awesome.
But
Bless
we're
you.
going to end this. I'm going to have no shirt on and barely pants.
Gosh. Now's the time to pray.
That's right.
Preach.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, Johnny just like derailed us right there with that comment. This is not Trinidad. Please keep the clothes on.
I look like a before picture anyways. You don't want to see it.
You were all right. Well, let's talk about this because here now, let's go to you can sing. Yeah. People are enforcing this in your life. They're encouraging you, but you love sports. So how growing up did you navigate that love for athletics, but also for the arts?
Yeah. So I would try to infuse the two. Like I sing like the anthem before games.
Nice.
And so here I am in my whole football uniform or like in my basketball uniform, singing the anthem and running back to the huddle right after. It became like a part of who I was. I was singing in the locker rooms. It was just like everyone just knew.
Yeah.
Okay, he comes. He's gonna sing the whole time. And I think I was just as passionate for sports as I am for music. And to this day, like I still play sports, still play basketball, and it keeps me active and it's phenomenal. But I mean, it's just a part of who I am. So how do I navigate that? It was like I just did both. I wanted to be like good at both of it. So
And you had said that you were singing at church, so that faith, like, was you being singing a Christian artist? Was that kind of your trajectory of where you wanted to be, or did you think that maybe sports was going to be your future?
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be my future. I never thought music was going to be a thing. I think like my dad's an incredible athlete, And so I kind of got some of that stuff from him, like being fast and strong. And I just thought, oh, like, matter of fact, and this doesn't leave this podcast, but I think it will because people are going to hear it. But
Yeah.
my mom called, like, my aunt couldn't say my name, Kieran.
Yeah.
So she called Kiki. And they like ran with that because my mom was like, that's going to be a sports name. That's going to be a football name. I don't know what football players thought we called Kiki, but it just stuck with me. And everyone calls me that here in my hometown. But it was just like that. Everyone knew I was going to play sports because that's where I was going to go. And I think music was just like a safe place for me. Even through like some of the trauma I walked through with, see my dad, my dad was, he battled addiction. He battled addiction with drugs. So he wasn't around in the picture. He was in and out of my life. Through high school, just trying to find who I was as a person, as a man. And, I was a guy that played football who couldn't throw a football because I didn't have that person that kind of teach me how to do that. So there was like a little bit of embarrassment, but there was also like, but I'm good at singing. So I'm going to lean onto that. And that was kind of like my crutch, but also like kept me like, it's Key. He's gonna be okay. He's gonna be fine, And that's where I found my joy. It was like my happy place. So it got me through some of the hardest moments of my life. And even today, like, it's therapy for me. In addition to it being a passion, in addition for it to being, writing songs to encourage people, it's therapy for me. And it helps me get grounded and rooted and free,
No one expects to have their dad in and out of their lives. Do you feel like then you had to be the man of the house? Did you feel like you had to step up and fill that role that your dad wasn't there for?
100%. I have a little sister, the one I just mentioned, and her and I were like this. Like, we're in Trinidad together, back in the States together. We just did everything together, and she graduated with me. We're not twins, but she thinks we're twins. I'm older than you. This had to be a little. So, it's like I definitely had to step up, and mom, it hit her pretty hard. Dealing with just divorce and all those things that she had to walk through, and I see it growing up, and I had to kind of step up and be that guy, try to encourage her. Even being in high school, try to find myself, and then also still try to be like an example. It was like a lot of pressure. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it was a lot of pressure. But even to this day, my sister looks up to me. Even to this day, my mom still treats me like, respect there and love there because, I had to step up and I got my first job at 15. And I've had a job since, I got a job young and had to pay for my prom suit and, football cleats and things that I needed early. And it was definitely a growing up early thing for me.
People say kids are resilient, which I would say no. As a child, kind of shifting from a child to more of a parental role, how as an adult have you dealt with dealing with maybe some of those traumas when you were younger and now you have to face them? Because that's why their kids aren't resilient. They just learn how to navigate. And then when we're older, we have the therapy bills.
That's right.
Yeah.
So therapy bills for sure.
Yeah.
But also, like, I was blessed to have some of my friends' dads step in, even pastors, be mentors.
Yeah.
And like that's one thing, I'm grateful for today. Like I knew that the Lord didn't leave me hanging, and that's something I struggled with. I felt like my dad didn't want me. I felt like he chose for me. We felt, even being in Trinidad, we felt like not wanted. We felt like we were kind of, just like little hint of abandonment a little bit, like we had it was great memories, but it was also moments of like, man, where's mom, where's dad? Those moments, and mom was trying to get herself together, kind of just young. And it was like, it's customary for Islanders to be sent for like a summer or like a year, but then the year started kind of adding up a little bit. You're like, wait a minute. But, to answer your question, today, I think when I graduated college and I came back to Houston, I worked at a faith-based rehab center. And I got to be in the room with other men that had been their addiction was a cause for the broken homes. So other guys from homes, and I got to like lead worship at it and hear stories that gave me perspective and helped me understand that my dad was 17 years old or you got addicted, and it was like, you made a bad decision. I can imagine having a kid at 17 years old. And in fact, I'm 33, I don't have kids yet. So I'm just like, when that time comes, am I going to be ready? That's like, I'm navigating in a space of like, I want to be the best father I can be. So I want to heal. I want to be whole. I want to be the best spouse I can give my wife. I want to be the best, just friend I can be in the lives of my friends. And I want to be the best father one day. So I'm pursuing wholeness and pursuing, this advice I ask every person that's been married like 10, 15, 20 years. How'd you make it to 20? How'd you make it to 15? And I'm just like learning, like getting wisdom and I really value mentorship today because of where it brought me from.
Yeah.
Seeing my dad love the alcohol. My dad smokes like a chimney. And so I said to myself growing up, I would never touch alcohol. I didn't want to smoke because I didn't want to be like dad. Because addiction is a huge issue. Was that kind of your thing too? I don't want to get involved in any of this stuff because I don't want to be like dad.
100%. And that was, like, here's the thing about my mom. She never let us know he was like, she never let us believe he was a bad person. So she always spoke highly of him. Like to this day, she has utmost respect for him, even though he bowed the way he bowed. And, but yes, I did not want to fall the way he fell. And I think that was definitely like it's in my mind still to this day. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to get involved with anything that can be addicting. Even coffee. I'm like, I'm drinking coffee twice a week, not every day. It's just nothing, Like, if it's a for a long time. I'll probably have a cup today. I'm going to have some coffee.
Yeah.
It was like anything that would cause me to not be myself, I guess, to that extreme at times. I just was out of fear for that. For sure.
Do you find though that maybe would that also go into your music and stuff though? I mean, like as an independent artist before you signed with Integrity, you're constantly working on your own craft. That can become an addiction in itself to better yourself and to make your music better. Could you see that as being a problem?
I at one point I felt like I needed to be something. Growing up, I felt like I needed to kind of prove my worth. Like maybe if I did this, like I would be liked or loved. And I felt like I was trying to earn that from people, from God. And I think, once I kind of identify the narrative of my life, and like you're rejected, you're this, you're that, and start to realize that God saw me as accepted and loved and known. I started to believe that about my life. It began to shift my perspective, and my desires started to change a little bit. In 2016, I had just gotten back from college, and I had got my first worship pastor position at the church, and my dad had about 10 more days. His left on papers to be until he was completely like free. He had like house arrest, stuff like that. He lived with my sister at the time, and she's about to have my nephew, Zion, who is 7 years old today. And she asked him to live with me, if he can live with me. And so I said yes. I went to work, came home, Dad was not there. He had gone back to drugs. And I remember, like, prior to that, walking this journey of forgiveness and trying to, I resented him. I resented him for a long time. And I kind of got a moment where I was like, okay, I'm going to pursue healing. I'm going to pursue just forgiveness and start the process of forgiveness. Well, that happened again. And I remember kind of just feeling like, again, not wanted, not good enough. And it started to really affect me in the musical space as well, where I felt like, dang, I have to earn people's approval. What am I doing wrong that he doesn't want to be around, and choosing that over? I remember those feelings kind of stirred back up again. I'm 26 years old at the time. So at this time, I'm like, just trying to find myself as a man. I'm like, man, all these things are coming against, our progress and moving forward. But then I had a moment a few years ago with my friend Evan Kraft, the song Chances we were talking about earlier. And, that moment, let me rewind real fast. That same year, I got diagnosed with a illness. I remember kind of having stomach problems and stuff like that. And I lost 40 pounds in a month, and I developed ulcerative colitis. and that's when I first found out I was diagnosed. So that journey began of just trying to figure out like why is it that my body's responding this way. No one in my family's ever done what you see. And, you know, the doctors, when we talked about it, we were like, hey, maybe this is like a response to trauma. Or this is something like that sometimes a stress, you know? And I started like not being able to fulfill music dates and stuff like that. I started not being able to work out. And then 3-4 years would go by where I couldn't work out. I couldn't clean my room. Yeah. I couldn't do a lot of things. And I felt like damaged goods. And I just kind of remember like the Lord putting people around me. And that would remind me of my worth and remind me that my worth isn't about what I do. It wasn't based off what I did, but who I am. And reminded me that I was a gift to them. And then vice versa, God started to show me that you're a gift to me. And so I wrote a record before being signed. Better With You was my last record in 2019. And the record talked about life being better, of course, for Jesus, but the people he placed in your lives. So like my perspective started shifting and my pursuit stopped being like fame or anything that was like vanity, like in that space.
Yeah.
And it became like deeper relationships and just like living life to the fullest and like not in a corny way, like in a real way. Like I started like really pursuing that. Being in a hospital, I would see nurses come in and just know something different about them. Like some of them are like Christian, some of them are like sneaky graham crackers, or sneaky some Jello. I'm supposed to have it. And I was like, so like, man, God, you're good. You knew I was a little hungry. Like you came through.
Yeah.
Like in the little things, like it was like, oh, okay. God cares about even the little details. So I'm on that journey right now where I'm like trying to like enjoy moments, enjoy people in my life, and enjoy my life. And I was a gift that she is to me. And then my friends and everyone around me, like I'm starting to not take it for granted more, you know?
Yeah. So why did you decide to not go the sport route and you went the music route?
I think because everyone, so I'm like 6 foot. Everyone else became like 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", 6'7".
Oh, okay.
I wasn't tall enough. And also, I just felt like I was better at singing than I was at basketball. Like I kind of got real. But it was around that time, I still thought about doing like leagues and stuff like that, like around 25, 26. And we're still playing ball like 6 days a week for like 4 or 5 hours a day. So it was like, we're in it pretty hard. And I'm thinking, okay, we're going to do some stuff, right? And I would say that health thing kind of shifted as well. No. It was like, it stopped me from being able to do that. Like I went from playing ball to like completely nothing. Like it was, and ulcerative colitis, you're living in a bathroom. It's like it's a form of IBD. And so it was a thing. There was a time where there were things that would come on my legs, like polyps, not polyps, but nodules on my legs. And I couldn't walk. So there were moments where it's like halfway throughout the day, I felt like those things were kind of coming. I'm done for the day.
Yeah.
So I would say health. Health was like, it was definitely a thing that kind of stopped me from being able to really run with it. And I wouldn't say like NBA, nothing like that, but more so like just leagues and stuff like that. I definitely felt like I'm just so passionate about it. I go to all the Rockets games in Houston. I'm still so in it, you know, but yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to be a WNBA player, but you know.
But you stopped at what, 5 foot? Oh, you're 5'2". Sorry, you did grow a little bit.
Oh yeah, 5'2" and 3/4. If we're being specific.
Of course, the 3/4.
Of course, I'm almost 5'3".
It matters.
So, new album set to release in August, which is a live album. Anything can happen. Did you struggle between wanting to do studio or live, or did you kind of just know off the hop live was where you wanted to go?
So, I knew that I did struggle. I did struggle with what I wanted to do. But I'm just going to be real with you guys. A lot of these songs were written in the hospital. And it's one of those things where I remember what I felt when I got that hook or that line or that melody or that concept. And I wanted to naturally have that in a room because in the hardest moment, I felt hope. in those moments. I felt like joy in those moments where it was like, you always feel, I wrote a song called Joy, and I wasn't feeling joy. Like it was a terrible time, but it was
Aw.
like, I wanted joy. And when I began to sing about it, I began to feel it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I was like, that was like what I needed. Like it's a scripture. I started singing the scriptures, and I wanted to create a space where people could feel that in a room. And I think that's why we lean on the live recording. I don't know if I will. I may do some studio recordings of some of the songs, but we did the live recording because I just wanted to feel. I wanted to feel what we felt in the room.
Yeah, that's amazing. There's such power in music, but especially when it's scriptures being sung. Worship music, I always see it as, yes, a form of worship, a form of prayer, but also a spiritual warfare kind of weapon. It's such a great tool. For you, what does worship mean?
Yeah. I always say that it's home for me. I think back on the first time I sang on Happy Day, and I was telling you guys about that earlier. And it was such a pivotal moment for me because I sang with my eyes closed the entire time. And but I felt safe. And I felt like it was a place where I really experienced God's presence. Opened my eyes in that 30 people storefront church. And people were praising God. Okay, it was a Pentecostal church. So we were going crazy. It was a moment. Yeah. But I remember like it felt good, right?
Yeah.
And that's what worship is for me. It's home. It's my safe place, but also I feel anchored. You know, anything that I'm facing or going through with, it's good or bad. Like I'm learning, like, yo, that's where I live. That's home. That's home for me.
Yeah.
We talk about in the good and bad, in the hills and valleys, and I mean, you've been honest about your life and the struggles and the things that you've seen. Can you think of a moment, though? I mean, maybe there's more than one where you stopped and you asked God that question: God, why me? Why am I having to go through this? Why are why do I have to deal with this? Because I love you. Why do I have to deal with this struggle?
2020, man, it was a rough year. It was a rough year for all of us, and for me, I was in the hospital for about 6 times a week each time that year. And I remember just like it'd been hard. It was really tough because no one would come see me. And so I felt alone. And the nurses are all like just like astronauts. So it was like you felt like weird. Like what
yes. Yes, in like the full on garb, just in case.
Right. I was like, I've been here for 2 weeks. Like y'all know I'm fine. I don't have it.
Yeah.
You checked me. But anyway, I remember having a moment then, and they saw some abnormal readings on my liver, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna do a liver biopsy tomorrow," and I didn't know what the heck they were gonna do, and they explained it when they go in one of the main veins of your neck, and they get a piece of liver, and they sedate you to put you to sleep, but I remember just kind of like not being able to sleep at night, and just freaking out. I never had a procedure before outside of like an endoscopy and colonoscopy. And so they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna sedate you, but not really put you to sleep." I just freaked out.
Yeah.
What are y'all doing, people? But I laid down and I couldn't sleep that night, and I had a moment with the Lord. I was just kind of like, man, like I really don't know why. Like I don't know why, and I remember like in the earlier years, you had people from church that some people would be like, man, maybe if something you did wrong, something in your heart, in your soul, that you would do. How dumb. Like that has nothing to do with anything. Like stop. But I believed it a little bit. You know, I'm trying to search my soul. On that night, I wrote a song called "Go Do It." It's on the record, and it just says, like, I don't know how or when, but I know you'll do it. In the midst of this, you prove it. And I remember just kind of having that moment with the Lord, asking Him why, but then just feeling that faith kind of come in that moment. And I still ask why to this day, just to be real. I don't know. I don't know why. But I think there's a side of me that, because I got, like, during my treatment, I got to sit in rooms with people that have like stage 4 cancer and like terminal illnesses that, they're dealing with some things. And I had a moment where, and I still kind of struggle with the thought, like, I'm like, these people are like on their last leg. Some of these people they don't have hope. They don't have the hope that I have. And I think that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I don't know why, but I am hopeful. And I do feel peace. And I think that's been the driving factor for me, that his presence never left me. Like, I never felt like he left me hanging. So there's like a why moment, but there's not like a I'm down and out. I'm doomed. There's no I'm doomed feeling. There's a I don't know why, but I know you're gonna use it type thing. And I know he didn't give me this illness, but I know that he will work in the midst of it.
It's like the whole thing. Sometimes we think as Christians, nothing wrong or bad will ever happen, but yet God never said life was going to be easy, just that he would be with us and walking with us and carrying us during those challenging times. It's
Amazing.
such an oxymoron, hey? I should not feel peace right now, but I do.
That's right. It doesn't make sense. It don't make sense.
Yeah.
But he surrounds you with good people, and he gives me strength day to day. You know, like today, my dad's been sober 4 years.
Oh, wow.
I don't understand that, but I'm grateful.
Amen.
He was at my wedding. Today, I'm able to work out 5 days a week, and I played ball 2 days ago. Things I couldn't do, like that doesn't make sense, because the doctor said that, hey, your life's going to turn upside down. You're not going to be able to do things that you thought you'd be able to do.
Yeah.
I had 6 medications fail. So many things have happened through the surgery, but I'm like, we still got joy, baby, and we still here, and we got something to talk about and testify about in the midst of it. I don't know why it happened, but I know he's with me, and I know he's going to use it for my good, and the good of those around me. And I think that's the hope.
Yeah.
You can check out the single Joy. I've listened to it 1,000 times already. That's the reason why you keep seeing the YouTube numbers going up. Anything can happen. The album is set to release in August. You could also visit at Kieran Music on the socials. Kieran Sims, my friend.
Love you.
Thank you for taking some time and hanging out and sharing your heart today.
Grateful for you guys. Thank you for the time.
Other than his wife and his family, I will then be his number one fan.
Do you think?
Yeah. And I was telling him beforehand that I'd listened to the single with him and Evan Kraft. I was like, dude,
it's good.
Like, you have a phenomenal voice. And I know you probably know that, and I don't need to tell you that, a guy who can't sing at all.
Yeah.
But, and then having an actual conversation with Kieran, I'm like, yeah, we could be best friends and I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, I could see that actually. I see you more as like the best friend than the number one fan.
Best friend that he doesn't want, though.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I'm just the guy who shows up at the birthday parties and like, what's that guy doing here?
Yeah, and you're like, hey, I brought the ting.
Yeah. I do love also the fact that it's a live album, and we've talked about this many times, Matt Redman, and we've talked with other artists too, that there's something about having a live album, and it's that moment in time, and you get to see where everybody is worshiping, and you can't recreate it. And so I cannot wait until August to hear his actual full-length album.
Yes, same here. It's going to be incredible. Very grateful that he was able to join us here today. And I don't know, I just, from Trinidad, what?
As soon as he said it, I'm like, oh man, I've lost Holly.
Yep, that's it. But I do appreciate his perspective on prayer and how to navigate the valleys and just to lean on God, and he's still walking with you.
And I mean, the whole point of why we started doing this podcast years ago is because we want to have the opportunity to talk with these artists. And you would never know that the struggles that he had with his family and his dad's addiction problems and things that we get to dive deeper and to realize, we're all going through something. And despite the fact that sometimes we feel alone, God is with us every step of the way. Yeah.
Amen. Hallelujah.
No. Thank you, projectors, for being with us every step of the way over 7 years.
Yes. Now we are on all the socials, including TikTok, though we've not really done anything with it. Still YouTube.
Still don't know what it is.
What'd you say?
I still don't know what it is.
Oh, yeah, I know. And it'll probably be shut down and banned before long. But for now, we are late to the party, but we're on it.
Yeah. We're going to reach the kids.
Yeah. Or something. I don't know. But if all... Oh.
No, I was going to say Facebook.
Yeah.
Twitter.
Instagram.
TikTok.
X.
YouTube.
Yep.
X. Pure Volume. MySpace.
ICQ.
We're on it all. Uh-oh.
And if none of that resonates with you, you can always check us out at faithstrongtoday.com.